Sage Wonder coming at you from my car down in the parking lot. Oh, gotta get the whole finger in the parking lot. So, yeah, hollow earth theory. What is that all about? So, before we get into too much detail about the hollow earth theory, I'll just tell you kind of where all this ends. There's a giant city under Mount Shasta, and it's full of all kinds of like Nordic spiritual beings attuned to other interdimensional. It goes deep. This rabbit hole goes deep. It goes deep as the hollow earth. So, I wouldn't believe any of this stuff. I would think it was just a whole bunch of hippies having a good time, had a little bit too much peyote, except for a thing called the Admiral Byrd Diary, or the Byrd Diary. Why do birds have diaries? No, this was a man, Admiral Byrd. Actually, he's a pretty famous naval officer and explorer. And I believe he was the first one to fly across the North Pole. And so on one of his explorations, according to this diary that surfaced after his death, by the way, that cannot be authenticated. And so we just are guessing and hoping that whoever brought this out, that actually is Admiral Byrd, or is it just a work of fiction with his name put on it? But the story's kind of cool. Apparently, according to the diary, Admiral Byrd is flying across the North Pole. And suddenly he sees a giant hole in the ice, and he kind of flies a little closer, and it looks like he can start to see green stuff or like vegetation where there shouldn't be any in the ice. And before long, he starts to realize that something has taken control of his craft, and he has no longer flying the aircraft. And as he goes on into this little hole in the earth, then suddenly he realizes that there are all these prehistoric animals and dinosaurs and species of flora and fauna he's never seen before. And that this might also be it sounds a little bit like Journey to the Center of the Earth, which was the Jules Verne tale. And but at some point he comes to a crystal city, and he also gets flanked on each side by flying saucers with swastikas painted on them, and blonde-haired, blue-eyed, Nordic-looking people flying under the swastika. Sounds like a Nazi thing to me. I don't know. That's a little trippy, but it all kind of ties together. This rabbit hole so deep. I'm not going to even get into the first. This video will just have to scratch the surface, so to speak, before we get to the core of the matter. I'm going to stop with the... I'm funny. I can't help it. I'm waiting for somebody. If they come back, I'll have to continue this on another video. So, Admiral Byrd, they take control of his airplane. Apparently, he's got a navigator and a communications officer on there with him as well. And so they stay put. The mysterious beam that's taking control of Admiral Byrd's airplane docks him into Crystal City, and he is then escorted to a private room where he gets to talk to, I guess, the king, the leader, the head honcho of the Crystal City, at which point he's kind of sat down like he's in trouble at the principal's office and told that, hey, that whole nuclear thing that you did at Hiroshima and Nagasaki, yeah, that was not cool. So we're the Nordics, we're the original Aryans, we're what the Nazis wanted to be. And we live in here in the center of the earth. And apparently there's an artificial sun that allows it. There's oceans with tides. I mean, it's all in there. But at any rate, he's telling Admiral Byrd that, go back and tell these jokers that if you set off any more of these nukes, we're coming up there. Don't make us come up there. We got technology that would crush you. We're way older than you, and we've been here longer. So that story is kind of trippy. And of course he does. He goes back. He tells them, they swear him to secrecy, and he puts it all in a diary to be released after his death. Great story. Wonder if it's any truth in it. I don't know. I need coffee. I need coffee talk. This is parking lot talk. This is even like more quick and to the point. This is gorilla coffee talk. G-U gorilla, not G-O gorilla. Okay, anyway, so is the earth hollow? Well, there's a lot of tales and lore that talk about subterranean creatures. It goes back thousands of years. We talked about this briefly with the reptilians. There's the whole concept that there's hell under there. You know, the underworld is supposed to be underground. Is the earth hollow? Could you fall into a cave on one side, keep walking, and then eventually come out on the other side of the world? Is there something in the middle besides molten lava and magma and cores and mantles and crusts? And are there cities? Is there a city under Shasta? There's a whole group of people out there that believe that there's this massive city full of beautifully enlightened individuals that live underneath Mount Shasta. Check it out. Check out that conspiracy theory. So this is kind of coffee talk without the coffee. Dang, I want some coffee. I'm going to get some coffee, but I'm not reshooting the video. So I hope you had some coffee with your coffee talk that had no coffee. I'm being a little silly because the hollow earth theory is a little silly, but what if it's true? What if? Well, the earth is kind of getting hollow because we do know there's underground roads now connecting all of the Illuminati underground secret facilities to one another. So they can go in here and pop up over there like a gopher. Hollow earth? If not now, if not then, maybe someday. God save the Republic.